I'm FabuRocks, but my family calls me Fabu. I've been creating videos and live streaming since I was 7 years old as a form of therapy that my parents, FabuMom and FabuDad, have created for me to overcome my speech delay, learning disability, and ADHD. Now that I'm older and overcome many challenges, my goal and plan is to empower others like me. That is why I am founder and leader of the Fabu Army, a clan that supports and empowers young content creators like myself. I'm the youngest Facebook gaming partner and youngest former Mixer partner. Welcome to the FabuRocks Podcast. I'm your host, and with me today is FabuDad.
Hello, everybody.
And FabuMom.
Hello, hello.
Before we get started, I would like to give a massive shout out to the sponsors of this podcast, Turtle Beach, Rocket, and G Fuel. This is Season 1, YouTube Therapy, Episode 6, Getting the Right Software. At the end, we will be answering some questions that the Fabu fam and the Fabu Army have asked us via Discord. Okay, I'm going to be asking some questions that I have prepared before we start this to ask you guys. So let's get to it. In the previous episode, we talked about how we equipped ourselves, like from computers and the lighting and the camera. We literally named it equipping ourselves. But we didn't talk about the software. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, let's keep in mind and not forget that we had nada experience with any of this. So we don't have a background in graphic design nor videography. So as far as software, we had nothing, zilch.
All the choices that we have made, from FabuMom already make a decision to work from home, and for me to close down the office and be more involved with the whole creation of FabuRocks and all that. We were bootstrapping at the moment. We were bootstrapped motion, so we didn't have the funds or anything to start hiring people in order to hire an editor or any of that. Because obviously, when I start researching about all those things, the first thing that comes to mind and that comes on researching everything is just, hey, this is the easy way. You just find out yourself an editor, and that's it. But to me, that was not an option. One, because I feel that what we were doing, it was something personal. I don't know if that makes any sense or anything, but it was just us. It was not something to give an editor to do editing or anything. I feel that it needed to be personalized, and that's why from the very beginning took that decision to do everything myself.
Yeah, to make it our own.
Yes, so I feel that's what it make part of the secret sauce, let's say, right? So I knew that I needed to find something that, once again, like I have explained before, that it was editing for dummies somehow. It needed to be user-friendly, but at the same time with good qualities. Good qualities that I will be able to do effects and everything. Let's not forget, like I had explained from the very beginning.
Like user-friendly? Like user-friendly?
Yeah, not only user-friendly, but what I was trying to say is that we've been saying this since episode 1. What we're trying to do here from the very beginning is create an experience. And part of that experience, a humongous part of that experience, is the quality of the video, It's the majority of the experience where Fabu will see herself laid on as part of the video. And like I have explained before, I wanted to create a video not as equally good as she was used to watching other YouTube family-friendly YouTube channels that she was watching at the moment, but trying to a little bit better in order to keep her attention and for her to wanting to continue. So yes, friendly, user-friendly, like editing for dummies, but at the same time, good, that allow me to do all the effects that I needed to do, etc., etc. So I know that it was a little too much to ask, but that's what I had on mind.
Because you were so clueless and didn't know much, how did you figure out what software you needed?
Well, we did what we always do. We went to YouTube.
Yeah. We went to the YouTube Academy. That's exactly what we have done in the past, and of course, that's exactly what I did. I started the research, which is you know, the best software and with the same quality as I said before. Very user friendly and good enough. A, a software that would allow me to create this super Steven Spielberg type of movie that I wanted to create, this experience that I wanted to create for Fabu. I had no clue, so obviously I started on YouTube. So through all that research, quickly I learned that there was a bunch of video, and a lot of people had a lot of different opinions. Somehow, I thought that it was going to be an easy research, that I was going to get the answer right away, but quickly I learned that depends on the content creator or the person that was creating, that it's in self-editor creating a YouTube video. They have different taste, and it was all more based upon people's skills levels. So it depends on each person's skills level. They would actually suggested X whatever software. I couldn't just put things in the balance because my skills level in reality it was close to none. It was zero. But at the same time, I'm tech savvy, and I feel that I had the skills to learn something quickly, which normally I do when it comes to tech, and learn from it and just do it quick. So I didn't know where to put myself, So somehow I went in thinking that I had something more defined in my mind, and I started to be very confused and not knowing where to go, because there was a lot of videos that say, okay, so something that that it was cheap, or the software it was free software, or it's for beginnings, but it costs you this much in the beginning, and later on you will pay in a monthly. And I couldn't test out each of those software, because in the end I made a list and it was like almost 10 different softwares.
Wow. Wow.
So it was a little bit confused, and I needed to understand that obviously each person is going to have a different opinions. So I went through all those different softwares, the list of software that I had, and picked out the one that it had the most votes at the end, and that's exactly what I did.
That seems really struggling, FabuDad. I personally, obviously, I don't know how, I did not go through that, but I can just imagine how it is, because you didn't know what was good nor bad, and you had this whole list, and it seemed like there were so many options for you, and you didn't know what to do. So what software did you pick to edit videos, and why?
Yeah, through all those lists that I ended up, the one that was always popping up and top of the list that people keep recommending the most, but they're always saying that you need a higher skill. And I thought, even though that I don't have no skills, but I thought because
you were confident.
I was confident, let's say, right? I was confident because I'm tech savvy. I know that I could learn things quickly. I thought that I had the skills to do it. It was After Effects, it was Sony Vega, and Adobe Premiere. And so there was those three. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna actually, instead of, I went from a list of 10, trust me, to a list of 3. I'm like, okay, this seems good, and I just gotta try them out. And I went and downloaded 7 days trial, whatever, of each of them. And oh boy, it was even more challenges than I thought. I have no freaking clue. I thought that I was ready for the challenge. I thought that yes, because I'm tech savvy and all that, I will be able to figure things out. But in reality, I was lost. I have no freaking idea. I opened that software and it was like, now what? Things that did not make sense. The only thing that I was able to figure it out, it was the import, export, play and pause. That's as much that I figured out. And when I'm saying that I figured out is it took me half an hour to find the part of import, export, and play and pause. That's as much. So I knew that I needed to, in order to give a fair trial, I needed to get some course. But when I did a deeper research, each of those programs, it was pretty expensive. It's not like today that we have Adobe and we use all the programs for really in a monthly basis, a payment of a low cost. Back in the day, you needed to pay the whole program up front, and
they were not cheap.
And they were not cheap, like Sony Vega was like $600.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought you were
like $600.
I thought you were gonna say like $60.
No, what $600? No,
$60?
it was like $600
For a
and After
course?
Effects. No, not
For the program.
for the program, and then you
Oh.
need to later on figure it out yourself.
Damn.
Anything.
So no course with the program,
No course with the program.
No?
and the program was just to edit videos.
No, the program did not have any tutorials. Like right now, actually,
Wow.
Right now, Adobe Cloud, when it comes to give you an example, Lightroom and everything, it has a bunch of videos right now as a tutorial. Back in the day, that did not exist.
Wow.
So not only did you have to pay for a program, you needed to figure it out yourself. Like
And the program was just to edit videos. It wasn't to do everything else.
Yes, it was just to edit video. That's it. So there, I needed to okay, I cannot go. I cannot do tutorials. I cannot go through tutorials with 2 or 3 different programs. So I'm like, I just gotta select the one that it looked to me a little, more. I don't know, the one that in the end, it was the one that I found more tutorials, free tutorials, because there was a bunch of tutorials that you needed to pay. You will get 1 or 2 classes and everything else paid. But I was able to find there was some kid there. I say kid, it was a young kid that he had I think it was like 30 videos.
Wow.
At least of Sony Vega, but for beginners. I mean, when he said beginners, and that's what I liked it, and that's what I ended up actually choosing Sony Vega, because he made the videos like really for dummies. Like he was explaining like ridiculous stuff, like open a file, and then you introduce this here, and it was really possible. I'm like, dude, this guy did actually these tutorials for me. Like he really did tutorials for dummies for Sony Vega, and I'm one of those dummies, and this is my tutorial. And thanks to that guy, I to be quite honest, I don't remember now the name of the guy, his channel. I really don't.
With all that help we gave you,
I know how he looks, but I just don't remember the name of the channel of anything like that.
We need to reach out to him and say thank you, bro.
Yes,
Thanks, bro.
Most probably, and he was great. He was great. Because it was once again, it was like, you open the file and you pick up the file from here and you put it right here and then you press save.
Here's play.
And I'm like, that's the type of explanation that I'm talking about. That's what I need. And so just because of that, just because of the tutorial, first of all, it was free. And second of all, the way in how detailed that guy was explaining, I'm saying, you know what, forget it. That's the program I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose Sony Vega. And then I will see later on about Premiere and After Effects and all that. Because all the tutorials that I was finding from Premiere and After Effects, there was those people that were making those videos, they believed that whoever was watching the video, they were really...
experts.
I would not say expert, but maybe they had,
better experience
than my experience, which it was 0. Even though that I was like, I'm tech savvy. I could get it. I have no idea. So I would see any of those tutorials, and I ended up like, what does this guy say? Wow. Like, I really don't understand the lingo. Like, what the hell? Like, what are he talking about? I didn't understand anything. Like, I thought that I was in a tutorial, but I ended up not understanding anything in the tutorial, what exactly the guy were talking about.
So you needed a tutorial for the tutorial?
I needed a tutorial for a tutorial. So the only tutorial that I did understood it was very clear. Unfortunately, I don't remember once again the channel, the guy, or any of that, but it was great. that's the one that I chose, Sony Vega. Actually, after Sony Vega, I ended up after everything that I learned in Sony Vega from doing the green screen, everything from this guy, I was able to get that knowledge, that basic knowledge. And later on, I got actually Premiere and I got After Effects, and I didn't have to do any tutorials or anything like that, because there was
Tutorial free. Woo woo.
there was a lot of things that it was already common knowledge from
For
editing
dummies.
software to the other, and I used it. So I ended up using the After Effects later on for other things that I was buying that you needed to customize yourself and rendering After Effects in order to personalize it. So I did some of that, and that's how I learned later on to use After Effects. But yeah, Sony Vega was the thing. Actually, today I don't use none. I stopped using Sony Vega for a while because they were we stopped editing videos for YouTube, making YouTube videos
For a while.
when we went to do live stream. So we were doing live streaming on a daily basis for 3 or 4 hours. We didn't have time at all to create videos or anything like that. So that's when we stopped. I stopped editing video through Sony Vega. So after 2-3 years, like two years, something like 2 or 3 years, we came back to do YouTube videos. And at that moment, I'm like, let me try something else. At that moment, there was a bunch of other software out there that they were very user friendly. They already had tutorials. There were like a bunch of other stuff. It was very cost effective. It were cheap, super cheap. We were already paying the cloud, the Adobe Cloud. So After Effects, all that, it was already in the palm of our hands. And I ended up getting a really easy software that it was actually time effective. I could just put everything there and render in a heartbeat and have a bunch of effects, everything on my fingertips. That's the one that I still use today, which is I think it's the name of the software is Filmora 1110, something like that, and it's great. It's very user friendly, really quick. But I still have the software obviously for Sony Vega. I still use, depends on what type of things I'm doing, After Effects and Premiere.
So, because you just told us that you use the software for your editing, what software did you use for your art and for your thumbnails, and why?
When I start researching all that to the video, there was one thing that it makes sense that if I would have chose After Effects and Premiere and all that, which it was Photoshop. It was the software that it was, it was advised to anybody who would do anything that I had to do with graphics. They were recommended. But the thing is, when the first time that I opened Photoshop, to me it was a little complex.
A little?
It was, not to say a lot. It was a little complex. I needed something really, really, really basic. Something that was way more basic than Photoshop. I actually ended up getting Photoshop. I actually say, okay, I need to learn this because it, hands down, that's the best software that everybody keeps saying that is great. There was one that it was a free software, but it lacked 100 other things that obviously Photoshop was able to do, and it was not too good. So in the fan to trying to look for something a little more user friendly than Photoshop, there was a company at that moment that it just started. At that moment, today it's but at that moment, back in the days, 5 years ago, I just started. It was an online software that you could do everything online, and it would save everything, and it was super cheap. It only cost like $30 the whole year. It was Pink Monkey.
Pink Monkey.
Until today, I'm using Pink Monkey. It has been, 5 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's great. It's great.
Do you use Photoshop at all?
Yes, I ended up using Photoshop, and I need to take out the background and do a bunch of stuff that I was not able to do in PinkMonkey. But in PinkMonkey now you could do all that, and it was super cheap for a year. So, and the good thing about PinkMonkey and all that is that you don't have you didn't have to put all the folders in a folder, like everything is staying in the cloud. Back in the days, not a lot of programs would do that. And to me, it was very convenient that I would do one thing and one thumbnail is stay not only in the cloud, but I will be able to edit later on the same thumbnail, be able to get it back, do some changes, and then save it again and put it back, and all that. To me, it was great. And somehow Photoshop was not able to do that. So I will go to Photoshop, do something specific, create it, and then save it, and then take it to PinkMonkey, do the changes that I needed to do, and then that's it, and then save it. Now, there was another program which I don't remember. Back in the day, it was recommended for you to do a thumbnail for YouTube, and that thumbnail, for you to take it to, I don't remember the name of the software, it was to enhance the colors. So it was a website that you would upload that thumbnail, whatever, and it would like really enhance the color. I was not able to do it in any other software, neither in Photoshop or anything like that. And I used to use that website a lot. I don't remember the name of the website or anything like that. But in reality, that's how we ended up doing the thumbnail, because I wanted to create a good and fun and funny thumbnail for Fabu, because once again, it was part of the experience. It was part of everything. So I not only that I always wanted to create the best and better video for Fabu as the part of the experience, but the thumbnail was part of that experience too. So when she go to her channel to check out the video herself and all that, she will see the good thumbnail and to make it funny. So my goal, it was always to make it fun and funny. Like you see those thumbnails for back in the days, I will always implement things that I have to do for whatever it is what we're doing at the moment, and then put Fabu's face in there, and she thought it was really funny that her face was in the thumbnail, and I will put a hair, or I will put something,
or the Snapchat,
or like anything, any crazy. She will like love the thing of the thumbnail. Yeah. And so yeah, so the thumbnail, it was much important than the whole creation of the video.
Yeah, it was like the cover.
So that's what I use today. The thumbnail, like before, it took me a while to create one thumbnail because there was a lot thought into it. Like right now, I do it very quick, and I still today use PinkMonkey. If anything, I go to, and very rarely I go to Photoshop. But right now,
Rarely.
Yeah, very rarely I go to Photoshop. But the majority of the thing, I would say,
well, this is
at least 95%, not to say 99% of the thing, I just do it in PinkMonkey, and that's it.
Wow.
From banners, from thumbnail, because I do everything from there. All the arts that you see, the FabuRocks always have done
by herself.
By herself.
Well, except one thing.
What?
Our little emojis.
Oh yes, of course. There has been emojis and things like that. With actually the emotes and all those things that we have done when we went to live streaming, everything like that. The latest ones, we ended up paying somebody. So not too long ago, we have done several things like overlays and things like that. That for the past year, depends on the overlay or anything like that. I ended up going through Fiverr or any other sources to buy them. I don't have the time to create myself, but 90% of the things I do it myself. Until today, banners, everything.
So I gotta say that sounds really challenging. That this whole episode, you had to look for videos to tell you about the software, and because you were kind of a dummy. And
yeah, I was a dummy. Okay.
You were kind of a dummy, and all of the tutorials were for not for dummies. And I gotta say that seemed really challenging. And I just wanted to ask, why didn't you quit? I felt like not gonna say you're a quitter, just saying I feel like with all that stress, you would have quit because with all that stress.
So I think the answer to that question is determination. The high level of determination that we had helped us push through all those tutorials, and that helped us learn how to do all the things that we didn't know how to do. So it was what that driving force which led us to be able to get through all of it.
Yeah, like how we have said before, we always felt at that moment that we were running out of time. Somehow we knew already that we had something that it was working, and then we needed to actually trying to get it back at one way or another. Somehow it was possible. Those 2 years of therapy that Fabu did not get much out of it, and her starting a school and all that. There was we were in a little bit of a panic alert, and we knew that we needed to do things. So that was our main thing,
And it may sound like a big thing, but these little roadblocks wasn't gonna be enough for us to stop what we were doing in order to continue helping you.
Yeah, so it seems like it was a headache, but not really. It was something that it was part of the things that we needed to do, and we went, through the whole thing, through the whole learning experience,
Yeah,
through the whole learning
little
experience.
hurdles.
Yeah, we made a decision. We did what we needed to do, and we just need to actually go through all that, because it was, in order to do and be able to create this experience that we're trying to do for you with this whole thing of the video, and that's what needs to be done. I don't know how better to put it.
Yeah,
It just needed, for us in our mind, that's the way that we function. Is like determination. That's what it needed to be done. We gotta do it, and our main inspiration and everything has been helping you, Fabu. That was it. So that was
No matter what.
No matter what, it is what it is, and we needed to accomplish, and that's it. And that was the whole thing. Determination all the way.
And I think the big takeaway out of this should be that if we can do it, so can anyone that's listening to this.
Exactly. So if anybody could, if anybody, a lot of people, I know a lot of people may say, "Oh man, if I cannot do this, or I'm not going to be able to do this," and trust me, I was somehow one of them, even though that I was fooling myself, and a lot of times saying, "Oh, I'm tech savvy, I wouldn't know this, I got this," and then I didn't get anything. Psych. It didn't happen. But it's okay. It's a learning experience. The only thing is you needed to have something that inspire you, something that you want to, that you're determined. Something is a driving force. Or driving force, it was Fabu. Nothing better than your own daughter as a driving force. So there would be nothing that would not be able to accomplish. There would be nothing that would not be able to do. So, and like FabuMom said, if we were able to accomplish, any of you, you will be able to do so, because has been time that we have said before, we have gone to gaming events, and we have talked to parents and telling them no, so we ended up doing this and this, and they will, and that reply of that mom or that dad has been, well, but I don't have no knowledge of this, I don't even know how to do this, or I don't even know how to do that. And my answer is like, neither are we didn't, but we had one thing in common, and the thing in common is that we want our daughter to succeed. In order for that to happen, we needed to make that happen. That's it. Because we knew if we were to start hiring people, even though that financially we were able to do so, it's something that you cannot just maintain all the time. I don't know. It was something that you
not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. It is something that I always seen this. Somehow that it needed to be a family thing. Like the family needs to be involved. Like otherwise, it will not be the same. I don't know if that makes any sense or something. Especially when it comes to, to all this thing that we wanted to do with Fabu. Like it needed to be us. It would not be the same in order to do the bloopers and the way that we have done everything into now. If it would be somebody else.
Because it would be hard for someone, a stranger, to capture our essences. I think what you're trying to say.
Yeah, they will see to a different scope. A lot of people create content, either a stream or they do video, things like that, for different purpose, different reasons. Ours has been one of them. Different in the sense that it has been as a way of therapy for Fabu. So somehow it's like we creating this for Fabu. And if other people enjoy it, awesome. That's freaking amazing. But in reality, we always have to create this for Fabu. And, we don't want another person like, no, let's just do this for X audience and, for somebody else, For us as being, it's just Fabu. It's for Fabu. If that makes any sense, I don't know.
Now it's time to answer some questions that the Fabu fam and the Fabu army have asked via Discord. This question is for me. What's your favorite blooper/episode? Well, my favorite blooper is when I said we actually put this into the podcast. Is when I was little and I said some really dumb shit. I said I said Batman minus Batman equals 0. I just love it. It's so and then this line I also said, I forgot exactly what I said it, but it was just hilarious. I just absolutely love it. And one thing that I love also is, well, it's not a blooper because we streamed on Mixer, but on Discord we have all these quotes that I said dumb shit too in Mixer, and I just love them. I consider them bloopers, but it was a stream, so we couldn't edit it out and then put it in a blooper, and I don't think we put it into a clip. So, but we have these amazing quotes. I there's some weird ones, there's this one, I had a chance to lose, but I decided to win. And this one's my favorite right here. Rainbow Six and Apex are very similar, but very different. Fabu 2020.
Let's go.
So let me add a little bit to
Fabu's
Fabu's. Let me add a little bit to Fabu's answer there. When we were always doing live stream, and Mixer, Fabu always say random stuff. Always. It doesn't matter what type of game she's playing, whatever. She always say random crazy stuff that people
are like, huh?
We're like, what she just said? And for her, it makes sense because that's her way of thinking. She just say it, and a lot of them it's not like what she said dumb or whatever. It's just funny. I see them as funny. So what we did, like we always do, it's we create actually a room on our Discord. We will put Fabu quotes, and every day
quotes of the day.
Quotes of the day. That's what we named them. Quotes of the day. If you are part of our Discord, you go to quotes of the day. You will gonna see there's a humongous one, and you will see that we always add every time that we do a live stream. Fabu will say at least 1, 2, or 3.
Crazy, yeah.
And it was something like bananas that ended up really funny. I believe that all of them they were funny. Like one of them. Fabu, do you remember the one that
do we have a plan? Don't say out loud. Let's say in our minds.
Yes, things like that. And to me, that was so outrageous and funny that I decided to create T-shirts of those says. So
weird
those
quotes.
Yeah. Of those quotes. And I named the T-shirts Fabu Quotes and Fabu 2020. And I made a line of T-shirts. I think it was like 6 T-shirts. One of them, it was like, yes, I'm a homie. I live at home, so I'm a homie. and things like that.
And this one's also my favorite. Fada's wearing a hoodie like he's a polar bear, but really he's a fish.
Like, go
Yeah,
figure.
things like that. He's a fish.
A fish.
So we ended up doing a t-shirt. Actually, I have several t-shirts.
Oh, those weird.
Those Fabu's 2020 quotes. Actually, you go to our website and on the page merch, you will see all those t-shirts that we create. So yes, I think it was funny. So we always get quotes, anything that Fabu would do, and always those mistakes we make bloopers out of whatever she will say. We make t-shirts. It's to us always that has been the way how we deal with things. Laugh about it, make t-shirts out of it.
Yeah.
Make bloopers.
Yep.
That's what we do.
Yep. That's a wrap. Thank you, FaDad. Thank you, FabuMom, for a great episode. It was wonderful having you guys here.
Thank you. Thank you for having
our
us.
Pleasure. Yes.
Your honor.
And an honor. Absolutely.
And an honor. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Before we end, I want to give a huge thanks to our sponsors, Turtle Beach, Rocket, and G Fuel for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Join me for the next episode, which is episode 7, Therapy for the Therapist. Don't forget you can access all the previous episodes on FabuRocks Podcast.com. And like always, just be yourself because that is fabulicious. Bye!
Bye!